Good morning, everybody. It's your boy King Churro. It's Thursday, October 17th, 2024. Want to jump on here real quick because just scrolling through Instagram and I saw this one video and I got to share it with y'all, okay? Hold on, let me wait for it to reset.
And
What would you do if I couldn't cook?
get you some cooking classes and call your mother and say you failed.
Follow Masculine Craze for more relationship advice and tips.
What would you do if I couldn't cook?
Get you some cooking classes and call your mother and say you failed.
Follow Masculine Craze.
So I always wonder, especially watching that guy, that's not Sleazo. I don't know what his name is. But I always wonder, guys, when I see these masculine podcasters, right? They expect a woman to cook, to clean, to do all the play the feminine role in a relationship, in a marriage, and so on and so forth. Now, here's the thing, guys. Y'all know, if you watch my videos, if you follow me on Instagram, whatever, you know that I cook. I know how to clean. I mean, I clean for a living. And before you say anything, as a custodian, I want to say about maybe 85, maybe 95% of the custodian department is all men. Tell me why these guys are, they're always trying to put it in women's heads that they need to be the ones to cook and to clean and all this other stuff. Like, can you do that yourself, sir, young man? Can you cook? And I don't mean put together a sandwich, right? I think that same guy in that same conversation, he was talking about she has to learn how to make a sandwich because he's going to go out and do all the manly stuff and blah, 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 make the money, blah, 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 blah. I'm be honest, my wife, her cooking skills are very limited, but it's fine because I cook. I make chili. I made chili last night, actually. And for those of you who know what my chili looks like, you know what I'm saying? I get down in the kitchen, guys. I don't fuck around. I get down in the kitchen. That's my turkey chili with chorizo and black beans. I get down in the kitchen, y'all. It's my favorite one. Look, I love to eat, so I should know how to cook. And it doesn't take a genius. I didn't need to take any cooking classes. Somebody once told me, I was like, oh, I think I'll go to culinary school, and he's like, you don't have to go to culinary school to learn how to cook. It's not the point. It's not the point of going to culinary school to learn how to cook. Going to culinary school to expand my cooking knowledge, right? Expand my skills in the kitchen. Like, I want to get better at, cutting, julienne and whatever else the different terms they use. I want to learn all that. That's the reason why I would go to culinary school, earn a degree or diploma or whatever that they give you when you graduate from culinary school. But I'm sure that all these restaurants here, especially these folks who let's be honest, these Mexican restaurants that we have here, I'm sure none of them went to culinary school. So you don't necessarily need to go to culinary school to be successful in the restaurant business. But irregardless, right? So the whole point of me making this live right now is that video. That video talking about what if I can't cook? Give give you some cooking lessons and call your mom and tell her you failed. Okay. How about just like when I met my wife and she don't know how to cook, instead of cooking lessons, how about we just cook together? I don't believe in all these little roles, guys. I don't believe like. Here's the thing, too. Oh, there's a fucking cat waiting to come in. What? You don't belong in this house, cat. Go away. Anyway, that's a fucking cat. Anyway, I don't believe like my wife believes in, oh, it's the man's job to throw out the trash. It's the man's job to do this. The man's job to do that. It's always the man's job. It's whatever is inconvenient for her it's the man's job. Well, if I were to play that role, it's a woman's job to cook. It's the woman's job to clean. It's the woman, then it's gonna turn right back on me. It's gonna turn right back on me. Well, I do this and I do that and I do this and I do that. So it's like feminists would hate my wife for what the fuck she says. Well, they would hate my wife. Because again, feminism is so convenient until it's not. Until all of a sudden, well, the man does this and that, you know what I'm saying? It just a lot of gray area. A lot of gray area. Anyway, this one was quick, man. I just again, what do y'all think? Hit me in the comments. If it's a woman's job to clean or a woman's job to cook, do these guys even know how to? How do they eat every night? Because if they don't have, I mean, I know like some of them have girlfriends. So does your girlfriend cook, or do you guys go out to eat all the time? And if you don't know how to cook and you're part of these little masculine podcasts and stuff, or you subscribe to, I don't subscribe to any of them. I think I subscribe to whatever podcast, but they don't really talk about the whole masculine thing. But for those of you who subscribe to these Fit and Fresh, I don't know what the rest of them are, to be honest with you. Andrew Tate, I don't know. I'm back and forth with that guy. I don't hate him at all. A lot of people hate him. I don't hate him at all. But there's some things I just don't agree with. But I would still support him, you know. But again, any of you podcasters out there that are into like, the woman feminine role and the manly role and blah, 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 masculinist and whatever. Do you know how to cook? And when I say, do you know how to cook, I don't mean, can you put together a bowl of top ramen? I don't mean, can you put together a grilled cheese sandwich? Okay, because that's basic. I know how to do that shit. Well, I've had to know that. I had to learn. Here's the thing, guys, and I guess it's gonna go longer than what I wanted to be. But here's the thing: my parents were divorced since 1983 or something like that. I was born 81, so it might have been 1984, something like that. My dad raised me from the time that I was, I want to say about 3, maybe 4, because I went to, no, 5. I went to kindergarten with living with my dad, but I think with my mom, I was in preschool. I went to a place called Mrs. Butani's preschool or some shit. It was in Covina, so that's a long time ago. Anyway, my dad, right, he would have me stay with some people, whatever. But at the age of, I want to say by the age of 6 or 7, I started staying in the house by myself. Versus my mom, I had my little brother to watch after, So I live with my dad. Either my dad had microwavable meals, but sometimes I would actually, you know, I learned how to cook an egg at the age of 6. I learned how to not burn down the house at the age of 6. I'd still try, but I learned how to cook basic shit. Like I said, an egg. Then someone introduced me to egg sandwiches. Basically, you make your scrambled egg. You put a little mayo in the bread, in a slice of bread, which also was your hot dog bun. And there you go. Ooh, try it with a piece of cheese. Put some American cheese on there. There you go. This is my mom. I had to watch over my brother. Well, okay, I'm already cooking eggs, right? My mom always had bologna. She always had hot dogs. So we were blowing up hot dogs in the microwave, you know. But again, it's like you had to fend for yourself at a certain point. My mom couldn't afford daycare, and the only reason my dad was able to afford daycare is because it was a relative. It was like an aunt or uncle. I also grew up with my mom's cousins who lived in the same neighborhood as my dad. So, and this is back in Lenox. I said about this. I was talking about this my last live. I said Lenox. I lived in Lenox, which is an unincorporated portion of Inglewood. We lived on Mansell Avenue. But yeah, anyway, so my dad left me alone because he worked, especially summertime. Summertime, my dad would leave me by myself the entire day. And I was, I'm Filipino guys. We are into canned corned beef and canned, spam and all that stuff. I'd make it all myself at the age of 6, 7, 8, 9 years old. Now, mind you, I'm about 4.5, almost 5 years older than my younger brother. So at 9 years old, my brother's only 4. I'm watching over him. And my mom is at work, so on and so forth. And back then we lived in Covina. We lived all over the place. Covina, Azusa. But when I lived with my dad, I was by myself. So, and then living, my brother also grew up with some of my cousins that lived in the area near my mom. So he's always back and forth over there. But yeah, so I learned how to fend for myself. And then my question is, because even as an adult, I knew how to cook. I knew how to cook. Basically, the recipes I learned how to cook are the recipes I wanted to learn because my parents made me these recipes. Growing up, mostly Filipino food, chicken adobo. Um, you know, what else I used to make? Beef caldereta. Just different stuff, man. And then like my chili, I learned how to make it, but I had a friend back in Louisiana. Well, we're still friends. Now he lives back home in Pensacola, Florida, named Tim, my cousin, aka Fat Laces, aka Picola. Anyway, so he was married, or at the time he was still dating this girl named Danette, and Danette used to make all kinds of different like recipes and stuff. And one time she made this chili, and she it was a beef chili, and she used like beef chuck or sirloin, ground up, real good, a nice quality meat, ground up, and then she used beef chorizo, and that like it took that chili and just threw it over the top, man. It was good. So when I decided, oh, I'm gonna try to remake it. So I started looking online for different recipes, and I knew that I just needed to add some chorizo. So whatever the recipe is, just add the chorizo, and I'm good. So I took the recipe I found online, added the chorizo. What I did is ground turkey to be lighter, and then I started using soy chorizo, so it would make it even lighter, right? But eventually, I got into making it with like a beef chorizo. I don't really like to use soy, so beef chorizo or pork chorizo. But yeah, and then I started making it that way, and I started kind of tweaking it here and tweaking it there. What's going to taste good. You got to remember, if you have to remember flavors, guys. You'll know, if you eat a lot, you should know that one flavor goes with another flavor, goes with another flavor, goes with another flavor. Sometimes I only use three ingredients: salt, pepper, and garlic. Sometimes that's all you need. Like my ribs. When I make ribs, I season it with sea salt, black pepper, or now I have this. It's like multiple different peppercorns, right? So you sea salt, the pepper, and then I do garlic powder. Do it on both sides. If I want a little bit of heat, I'll put some cayenne pepper. Not a lot. Cayenne pepper can burn your ass. All right. So I sprinkle a little cayenne pepper to get a little heat, and then I smoke my ribs. If I use the Traeger signature blend, it'll take about 4 hours to smoke my ribs. Using the Applewood blend that I have, it only takes about 2 hours of smoke, and then I still do an hour in the oven to basically cook it internally, and then also it helps the meat fall off the bone. It's bomb. But again, I'm saying all this because I know what flavors go together. Do you know what I'm saying? I know what flavors go together, and saying like I know how things go. I mean, I watch stuff all the time, and here's the thing, guys: is cooking isn't as primitive as it used to be. Meaning that you can go on a Netflix and watch how people cook. They'll teach you how things, I mean, like I watch Barbecue Showdown all the time on Netflix, and sometimes I'll watch it over again and watch it over again. You know what I mean? Like I've already seen all the seasons, but I'll still watch it over again just so I can get an idea of what I would want to do next with those ribs, or when I smoke chicken, or I like smoking different meats now. It's expensive, but it's Bidenomics. It's expensive, but when I can afford it, why not? Like for lunch, I think I'm gonna do some steamed salmon. My wife bought me a steamer, and I've got a bunch of little salmon, not fillets, but they're cuts. So I might do that. I might make some steamed salmon with some probably some Brussels sprouts, and that'll be my lunch. And how do I season my salmon? Salt, pepper, garlic. That's it. And sometimes you don't even have to go all that. Just because garlic is great. Garlic is great. It adds more flavor to something. But sometimes salt and pepper is all you need. I also watch. Sometimes I'll see on YouTube Wild 'N Out. The lot Wild 'N Out, Nick Cannon, and all those other people. And they always talk about how white people don't season their food. That's like it's an ongoing joke. White people don't season their food. White people put raisins in potato salad. Whatever. But my thing is, okay, so you're gonna sit there as a black person talking shit about white people not seasoning their food. Do you know how to cook? DC Young Fly, do you know how to cook? Carlos Miller, do you know how to cook? And here's the thing, I know somebody from Mississippi. Carlos Miller's from Oxford, Mississippi. This other guy that I know is also from Oxford, Mississippi. And he talks about if he can't smell the food, he can't trust that restaurant. But all that time I've known him, I've never, not one time, seen him make any food. Now, when we used to work at the dispensary, I used to make food and bring it to the dispensary. Not one time has he brought anything to the dispensary. So if you know how to cook and you know how to criticize people on how they cook, what do you cook? And how come I haven't seen it? Same thing Wild Now. Y'all keep talking about white people don't season their food. Okay. How come I see y'all on every single social media platform and not one time have you said, you know what? Let's cook a little meal for the people. Let's show them what we can do, what we talk about. I mean, y'all do everything else on camera. Y'all do everything else. Y'all sit there with the camera smoke, passing the blunt around. How come none of y'all cook? Anyway. Thank you for watching, Boy King. It's your boy King Churro. I just got back from my physical therapy. It's my last physical therapy session, which means I need to talk to the doctor because it's been helping me out a lot with my shoulder. Um, I've been feeling a lot of pain in my trap, and actually, he was kind of massaging here, or he'll use the percussion gun, and then he'll like kind of fill around too, and there was a nice knot. Fucking hurts in my what is it called? My trapezoid. And yeah, so but today was my last session and I need to see if I can get more sessions with physical therapy. I have an extensive amount of sessions with acupuncture, but acupuncture is just so it's great. It lasts the pain is relieved for a couple days, maybe a day only. I need physical therapy. So anyway, I'm getting a little hungry now. Shit. Now that I'm talking about, can you cook? It's 10:42, y'all. It's your boy King Churro. Thank you for watching. Always remember that you're loved, and always remember to be great every day because tomorrow is never promised. I've got more videos coming up soon. I'm working on a couple. One in particular, um, Black Voices talking about Barack Obama and you know all this other stuff. So anyway, y'all. Peace out, y'all.